This is our little buddy. It's a Vitafrigo, and refrigerator on top, freezer on bottom. And I'm going to install this where the old refrigerator is, of course, and plugged it in, tested it out, works fine. Very much higher quality than what was in there, which was the Norcold. Let's go take a look at the Norcold.
Oh, wait, don't record me again.
So this is the Norcold, and it started smelling like ammonia. That's what happens when they shoot craps and they start leaking out the gas that's needed in order to do the chemical reaction with the heat to make it cold. And honestly, you couldn't give me another one of these for free. It never kept ice cream really cold. It always had condensation and water in it, and it was time for it to go even before it officially died. So while we waited for our Vitafrigo to come from Italy, we used a little Engel refrigerator, which is this guy right here. Bought it off Amazon. They're about 800 bucks. It worked pretty good, but of course it's not the same as a refrigerator as far as capacity and user friendliness. So this guy will be getting yanked out, and the Norcold or the Vitafrigo is a little bit different width, so I might have to mod it a little bit to fit. But we'll see. I pulled off the trim. There was 2 screws here. There was 2 screws down here. And yeah, I know the refrigerator looks disgusting, but things spilled and dried, and we haven't used it for a long time, and we just cleaned it out, so it wasn't like this when we were using it. But anyway, there's also 2 screws through the access panel. This is the outside panel. And when you take these out, if you're still going to keep your gas line going, they have these plugs. And the people that sold me the refrigerator just gave me this one, but it's a plug that goes into the gas line and plugs it up so you can still use your stovetop and your heater if you're not ready to go totally without gas. So anyway, there was another couple of screws in here that held the refrigerator from this end in place. So I removed those. I'm going to disconnect this gas line. I've already turned off the main gas line from the tank, so there might be some residual gas here, but nothing to cause a real problem. Then I'll go ahead and plug that up and then continue with removing this old guy out. And here was the 110 for the Norcold, and so I'm going to use that if I need to, but I'm primarily going to run it off 12 volt. So I'll tap into the 12 volt here, and I'll tap into this if necessary. So long term, if I'm plugged in somewhere, I'll probably just take this cover off and plug it in. And if not, then I will just use the 12 volt. You don't use any pipe dope or anything on these. You just put it on just like it's made. It's a brass compression fitting that's just made to go on like this. Then of course I'll use 2 hands and tighten it on properly. Alright, so once the screws are out, I just found it easy to take the claw of a hammer and stick it underneath and kind of pull it as you work it out like this. So that might be a little tip. So here's the little turd ball out. And I'm going to do some measurements. I might need to do some slight cabinet modification. But you can see it's pretty straightforward. And I'll have to run 12 volts to here because this one was only 120 in propane. So I'll run a fuse 12 volt lead up to this. That way it'll power the refrigerator. And Vitafrigo tells you to run it directly off the battery terminals. So don't try to tap in anywhere. It's probably good advice for any refrigeration that uses 12 volts. Run it through a fuse or circuit breaker directly off 12 volt battery terminals. The problems that you might have if you're like us is getting the refrigerator out and the new one in. This is about 23 inches across, but it has a door that's in the way when you open it, like that, thus cutting down your ability to get all the way over. So you would have to take out your door to get it in. Some people say take out a windshield. There's all kind of schools of thought on that depending on your situation. I think I'm going to take out that door and take it out of the equation, and that way I can get the old one out. Because I could hack this old one up and get it out pretty easily with my Sawzall, but how do I get the new one in still? So it doesn't really negate the issue. So yep, got to do some door removal. Even after removing the door, the thing is barely, it almost made it, but it has some black things sticking out the back, some modules, and it barely won't fit. So we're taking off the trim and possibly even these doors if we have to in order to get it to come through. Lots of funness. So we barely got this bad boy through that door, so I obviously can't demolish the new one. The old one, who cares? But now I have to make the cabinet a little bit wider, so I'm using this Sawzall. And actually we took the frame off the new refrigerator. It's like a trim ring that goes around it to make it easier to get it through. Not because it made it wider, but just because we didn't have to worry about bending it. So we took it off, and actually it's a good template to cut the door with. So I put it up here, measured the width of this, and then drew a line with the marker, and I'm going to cut it out, and then that way we know exactly how wide everything is. So that's the process we're doing right now. So we lifted it up on that little toolbox here, and temporarily I'm going to attach this bezel back to the refrigerator, and then lower it just a hair. The toolbox is a little high, and then slide it in and mount it. So that's what it looks like so far. Well, there she is. It's running on DC, and I'm going to put some of that expanding foam along the bottom where you can't see right now, but there's a gap underneath of it, because you don't want to rely on just the screws to support it if it's lifted, which it is. So I'm going to fill that underneath, just underneath. You don't want to insulate the sides or the back of these, because they don't work on the same principle as the other ones. They need to actually have airflow around them, which is why they have these grates, so it could pull air and circulate it to cool the condensers. So anyway, there's the Vitafrigo, and we're already starting to make use of it. Awesome. A lot of work, but the end result is worth it. The old tank of our refrigerator is outside and going to the dump. Hope you enjoyed the video. Shalom.